Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we are joined by Josh and Marcus, who've just finished pretty much a 6-month fat loss phase, and they're both absolutely fucking peeled, and you'll be seeing the transformation photos shortly. And we're just going to sit down and have a talk about how they found the whole process, because I think it's important to know, like, if you actually want to do a body transformation, it's fucking hard. But there's a lot of stuff that you learn in the process about yourself, and so I think this interview will be really useful for people to understand sort of the actual process and the mindset that goes into achieving an unbelievable transformation. So first question for both of you is, how do you feel right now, having completed such an intense dieting phase and having just took photos and you're like, wow, I look fucking sick right now?
Yeah, so you feel good, you feel accomplished because you've done it. It's not easy, like, is it? But yeah, the donuts help at the end. No, feel good to be done with it, like. But
fucking thank God it's done. No, but that I think that's an important point. It's just like that it does get to a point where you're just like, oh my God, this is so deeply intense. Like I just can't really bear this anymore. And so when you've been going through those moments, like especially, I know you said you were feeling grouchy the last couple of weeks. It's like, it's not just something where you just go, oh yeah, I'm going to get shredded. Like, it's fucking hard. So like, you said you feel good at the end of it. You feel good that you're done with it. Like, are you proud of anything that you've achieved? Did you prove to yourself that you did things that you didn't think you could do previously?
Yeah, because obviously you saw I was going to the gym for a while, and I was just bulking, taking it too far, then cutting, taking it too far, and losing muscle and gaining fat. So obviously got in touch with you and well, doing it right is
just for everyone to just understand how unbelievable this year has been for Josh. 94k in January, and like 11 months later, it's now sitting at 63 this morning.
63 this morning, yeah.
He's pulled off so much body fat, it's unbelievable. So, what's your answer?
Yeah, I feel quite like proud and accomplished in that sense, because it's been like, I've been going to the gym for like 4 years now. It's been like a sort of yo-yo dieting phase and stuff like that, so it's been good to like properly stick to something and like commit to it properly. And I don't think you'd be able to do it without a coach like yourself in that sense, because you're always there on hand to talk to.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's sort of made the difference for this sort of cut. So it's been fun, but it's been difficult. Yeah. So it's mixed emotions in that sense. Good to be over, but also like sort of miss it in a way. It's strange.
What do you miss about it?
The discipline in that sense. I know I'll still be disciplined after it, but you sort of get into like a weird headspace of you're like streamlined, and that's your tunnel vision. Now that you're coming to the end of it, it sort of feels like, what's next? In that sense.
Yeah, 100%. I always notice whenever I'm dieting, my efficiency in work and everything just goes to the next level, because it's just like the level of discipline that is required in that aspect of your life also transcends to all the other areas, and you just feel locked in every day. It's like, this must happen. Yeah. There's no messing about it. Yeah, sick. And actually, it's on to the next question. Like, I wanted to ask you, when you first reached out, what was the biggest barrier that you had that was stopping you from getting to the next level, and what do you think that we did to overcome that?
Just being accountable for my food. So I'd have a good enough plan where it'd look good on paper, but then obviously you get cravings, and I just set myself into thinking I was doing the right thing, or going to fast food and then making up with it by not eating as much in the morning. Obviously being accountable, and you putting me in meal plans, and even just sending you what I had as examples makes you more accountable, doesn't it? So I think that's what made like a massive impact. Like the first few months, like obviously it's slow, isn't it? But once I came back off holiday after September, it just that's when I noticed the difference. People were saying, you know, you look boss. Yeah,
we put our foot on the gas, didn't we, when you came back? And you robbed your answer there, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I think I mentioned it before. It was like yo-yo dieting and stuff like that. You'd commit to something for 3 weeks or so, but because you've pulled back so many calories on that 3 weeks, you just end up binging for that weekend, and then it's just a back and forth, watching your weight go up, down. So it's having someone there to actually see that commitment through in that sense, and give you a structured plan where the calories come down steadily rather than just smash them down. So that's the difference, really. I think the gym's been massive as well, because you've helped with form, you've helped with actual intensity and stuff like that, but unless you get the diet right, you're never going to go anywhere.
Yeah, 100%. And I think like we were speaking before about, like, it's been 6 months, it's been a long process, but like at the start, there was a priming phase, like you were saying, why the fuck's me fat on 120 grams?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what the fuck's going on? But I think when you've got that, someone to just go, right, this is exactly what's going to happen over the next 6 months, and you can just have that
Yeah.
100% certainty in it.
Definitely.
And you're not just, because I think it's very hard to know exactly what to do, when to push your food up, when to pull it down, like, how, like, because I was having this conversation yesterday with someone who's like, the weight has stayed the same for like 3 days, and it's a new client, and everyone always says this, probably you guys said it at the start, literally everyone says it, like, oh shit, my weight hasn't moved for 3 days, like, what, should we drop calories? Like, nah, lad, just chill, relax.
Yeah.
But I think it's very hard to have that understanding and that knowledge if you haven't got the experience or you haven't done it enough to really see, like, right, I can actually just hold my food right now and I don't need to shit the bed and drop food massively. I can just actually, when you've got enough time, you can spend the time actually just following through with the plan that you believe in, and then it actually comes to fruition at the end. So what did you gain from this process? You lost a lot of weight. What did you gain?
Just knowledge, even
Yeah.
just little bits, like just not even from like the seminars and the videos that you should do, which would help a lot obviously. Just like little WhatsApp chats we have in private where, like, I don't know, for example, like the fish oils I was taking, I don't eat fish like you.
Yeah.
You told me about like how they're made in heat, was it?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it damages them and basically useless.
Yeah.
Whereas I've been taking them for like 3 years,
Yeah.
wasting my money every month. So
Yeah.
it's just little things like that that like stick with you in your head, which you're thinking, oh well,
Yeah.
it's like,
Sick.
it's a good little tip.
Sick. What have you gained from this process?
Quite like I've learned a lot about myself in that sense, and like I can properly stick to something for 6 months. So that definitely relayed everywhere else in work, and in life, and then just like in your social life and stuff like that. You sort of commit to things and you don't back out of it as much. And I just found it. Yeah, I've learned quite a lot.
But when you say you don't back out of things, do you mean like if you say, right, I'm going to go out and I'm going to eat this on a meal out, you don't back out, you mean?
Yeah, like you commit to something, like you know that, well, as you say, for a meal, like if I said I'm going to go out with my girlfriend for a meal, for example, we've planned that week ahead so that I don't feel guilty going out for that week, for that meal, for example.
And so just seeing the level of discipline you can actually bring and what you can actually achieve, do you feel like that's been a mindset shift in general, or do you feel like that's been something, right, the dieting phase I was switched on, or do you feel like that's going to be something to move forward as well for you?
I think it's something that I'll move forwards with, because it's not just a dieting phase now, that's sort of like part of my life in that sense. It feels like we've already made plans for after the dieting phase, so if it was just the dieting phase, I think I'd have just packed it in by now. Yeah. In that sense. Yeah.
Because it's grim, isn't it? I think it's got to be. There's got to be a bigger reason. I always say this: like getting in shape doesn't mean anything. Like I care, you care, your bird doesn't care, your mum doesn't care, no one else gives a fuck. But it's the process of actually proving to yourself that you've done something fucking unbelievable that barely anyone else on the planet can do. It just gives you a different level of confidence.
Yeah. Everyone thinks it's cool until you have to do it yourself. Yeah. And that's what I've learned as well. Yeah. It's cool until you have to do it.
Do you think you could have done this alone?
No. Not a chance, because like I said before, it's just the accountability of it. Just like, I know Mark has said as well, it's just like, that's the main thing that sticks with you, that I say to other people when they say, you know, how can you decide how can paying all this money for a coach when you're not like trying to do it as a job, or it adds nothing, but it's like it's the other benefits you get from it, isn't it? Like, no one, I better not eat that, better not do that, because when I go to take my check-in photo, it's going to show, or when I go to stand on that scale tomorrow, it's going to show. And when I'm in the gym, I'm going to feel like shit, so it's just like 100%. That aspect of it. 100%.
Well, like a Mr. Olympia champion as a coach, you can't do it by yourself, I don't think. I think it's pretty impossible. There's not really anyone on the planet that would be able to. And like, I've found your guidance and like assertiveness with the decisions very helpful throughout. So
100%. And it's like we were saying before, it's just when you've got that certainty, it's just like, this is exactly what we need to do, and this is exactly what will happen as a result of it. It just makes it so much easier to stick to, doesn't it? Because if there's any uncertainty about what actually is getting done, you haven't got conviction, it's never going to happen. But I think that's a great point as well, Mr. Olympia, as a fucking coach. Like, if I wanted to do a prep, I would get a coach. Like, it just, I think when you're dieting, your emotions trick you, and you start, like you said before, like, you'll have a plan there, but you'll go, oh, well, I've had a long day at work, so I'll go and get a Mackey's, and then I'll just make it work. I mean, it's like, nah, you just get a fucking coach and actually just box it off properly. Yeah. Sick, guys, that is it. Well done. Guys, that is all for today's episode. Have an amazing day and share this with someone that you think will find it valuable.